And yeah, again, with no music, I had a moment where I wanted to just pause and wait to hear it, but no.
Nope.
Hello, everyone. It is, oh my God, what week
Week
12?
12.
Yeah, it's week 12. Uh, you guys just came off of your exams. Uh, your professors are in the process of grading said exams. Um, and yeah, it's been an experience. I don't know how much I even want to go into it. Let me say this, I guess, at least in the case of the essays that I have been grading. And the thing is, I'm probably not even saying these words to the people who need to hear them. Uh, but let's just say it is blatantly obvious when you haven't been watching the lecture materials. Um, and you're trying in desperation to put something on the page. If I have asked you to do a compare and contrast essay, if I say, pick two of these artworks and compare them and contrast them, tell me what is similar about them, what is different about them, and what do those differences perhaps tell us about each of the different cultures that created them. What I don't want, because it doesn't address the topic at all, is for you to go to the PowerPoints, grab some of the bullet points, and write them down in a manner that doesn't connect them in any way, makes no sense, isn't even readable because it's bullet points that aren't made to be actual sentences. So you're just throwing some words out and not answering the prompt at all, not comparing, not contrasting, but just trying to describe what you either just giving me bullet points or describing what you remember me saying about the artwork and not doing any comparing or contrasting at all. That happened so often. And you guys are taking a bit of a hit on your scores as such. And I didn't mean to just launch into this, but I guess we've just been having this conversation before we hit record. Yeah, you got materials from me this week on the Middle Ages. Again, I'm probably not talking to the people who need to hear this, but if you have not been watching stuff, I hope you're watching this. I get it. It's toward the end of the semester. It's week 12 out of 15. And we're all tired. We're all trying to get to that slog to the end of the semester, but don't let that ruin what might have been a good semester for you. All right. I guess there's my rant. Is there anything you want to talk about or no?
Next week you're getting material for me. It's a lot. It's medieval lit. Since you only had one thing to read for me from the Romans for the literature, I can say with absolute certainty it's absolutely disheartening to see so many people resorting to Cliff Notes to get the information, and then also including Cliff Notes on the exam. Like I myself don't know what Cliff Notes is saying about Aeneas. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a warning now. Excuse me if I seem incredibly cynical, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, because I don't necessarily believe that anyone's going to hear what I'm about to say since so many people aren't watching
Yeah.
videos. But here's where we're at. I'm not assigning Beowulf in the portion where he defeats the dragon. So hear me and hear me now. If any of you include anything about Beowulf killing the dragon for the exam 3, which is your final exam, I'm just going to give you a 0. because that isn't even the part that was assigned to you. I don't. I may mention it in my video, but it's more a means of just kind of helping you to see the problems with Beowulf as a leader, to help be representative of the time that we're in, where you're having this chaos and the constant usurpation of kings and the medieval interaction between, you know, Viking people and the Britons and the Angles and the Saxons and all of these different people in this constant state of flux.
Yep.
So yeah, you're getting a lot of medieval literature from me. You need, because technically the Middle Ages covers a huge portion of time. So you're getting information from the beginning of what we consider the medieval era, so the Dark Ages, if you will, with Old English representations from Beowulf all the way up through, I believe I have it towards Dante's Inferno. So again, I only have you reading certain portions of Dante's Inferno, and I've also included a handy dandy PDF of extra supplemental literature that you're all responsible for, to help you get a good indication of what is happening during this dark medieval era, particularly with the way people are feeling and the way that they're creating literature. So yeah, you might want to read it, because not only do you have a quiz in this upcoming week, a quiz 7, but you also need to know it for the exam. And that's pretty much all I have. You're getting nothing but material for me. It even says, like, this is a lot, y'all, a lot of medieval lit, but you need to do it. Stop going to places like Wikipedia and Cliff Notes and reading the wrong parts of the literature.
Yeah.
It's not helping you when you sit here and talk to me about a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't even assign, because then all that does is give me a big indication like you went somewhere else, and I just right click and hit search Google and boom, I'm getting it time and time again. Don't do it. Just read the stuff.
Honestly, you can read what you've been assigned quicker than it takes to like go and like search and read all that stuff. And the medieval stuff is good. As it turns out, when there's lots of death and instability all around, it makes for good art and good literature. But yeah,
That's all I have.
and
I'm
yeah,
in the process of doing the build for next week.
as was mentioned there, yes, there's no quiz this week. Next week you'll be getting literature materials from Professor McIntosh, and there will be a quiz. It'll cover the material you've gotten from me this week and the material that you'll be getting from Professor McIntosh next week. And I guess kind of on theme, looking at the views of on the Middle Ages lecture that I just put out on Monday. It is Thursday. The views are still in the single digits. Let's get on it. But again, I'm not talking to anybody who needs to hear this, I'm sure. You watching this probably are not the audience that we're frustrated with currently. I don't know. I want to try to end it on a happy note, but we're both frustrated currently.
That's all I have.
Yeah. I will be putting in an assignment for cultural credit for next week. Excuse me, I just put that in my mouth while I'm trying to talk. For senior thesis, the senior thesis reception for Abby Folt's work in the art department. That's next week on Friday, the 18th. But that'll be in Google Classroom for you guys to see soon. It'd be nice for as many of you to show for that as you can. Yeah, I guess that's all I've got too.
And we've already released exam 2B grades of all the individuals who we don't have to have plagiarism meetings with. And I am in the process of finishing up 2A, and we'll get those returned to people at least in Google Classroom by today. And depending on how these meetings go, we'll get you the information from forms soon. So just keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, buenos tardes. Arrivederci. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao.
Sayonara.
Sayonara.
Yeah. All right. Bye, everyone.